From Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Poker Night in America. Welcome to Poker Night in America, the start of a brand new season. I got a co-host. It's Chris Hansen along with Joe Stapleton. Welcome, Stapes.
Thanks for having me. I really needed this job. I have 2 girls in college, and those are just the ones I'm dating.
Stapes, you're starting off with a real doozy. It's our Twitch Celebrity Cash Game in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're not kidding. This is a packed table, literally. There's almost no elbow room, and everybody's going to need to make some space for the GOAT. Phil Hellmuth is on his way.
For sure, I'm just saying.
Buy-in tonight is a minimum $5K, and of course, since we're in Vegas, there is no maximum buy-in. Pretty much anything's going to be allowed here tonight on Poker Night in America. All right, Joe Stapleton, tell us about this blind structure. I'm a little confused already on the ante from the big blind and a deuce 7.
So it's no limit Texas hold me. Blinds 25 and 50 with a $200 ante paid on the big blind. And the deuces 7 rule is in play. Win a hand with 7-2. Everyone at the table's got to pay $200.
Starts with antes.
That's great.
25, 75, 150.
I love it.
The best.
UPTs high rollers start with NT.
What else?
The high rollers in UPTs start
Yeah.
with NTs.
Yeah.
That's really good. So much better.
So much better.
And for this deuce 7 game we were playing, you have to scoop it, not chop, not like run it twice and win.
200,
lose one. You have
200
to
bonus.
scope the whole
Well,
pot.
are we on for 7 deuce?
Yeah,
We
we are.
for sure.
Yeah.
We're on. It's,
For
how
sure.
much is it if
200.
you win it?
200 each.
You'd be surprised how often the 7 deuce rule comes into play. It's always aces or 7 deuce.
Sorry, let me turn that off.
Put your cards side by side over here, over the spot.
Oh, this sure Randy's going to put in another raise here.
Are these RDF?
Yeah. RFID.
And Lou makes it 800.
And Randy's got a pretty tight image, so this should get him some respect, except that Antonio has respect for no one.
Yeah, lovely morning.
Trim down to 2 players, so Lou and Esfandiari will see the flop together.
Antonio does have a pretty good hand for cracking queens.
Is that qualify for cracking queens or not?
Absolutely. Randy,
I gotta give that
what a
shot.
bad spot for him. Top set, and it's no good.
You start with 5, right?
900 from Lou and a call from Esfandiari.
Antonio could have raised there. It was a draw-heavy board.
Both players right now are in love with their hands, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. And Randy's almost always betting again. He's just never beat here, except for now. Like never, but now.
$1,700 the bet from Randy Lou.
And I'm pretty sure we see a raise from Antonio now.
Antonio, how much is Dan Stone to start with?
15.
Lou's repping a pretty strong hand when he bets twice. Randy, it's the first hand.
Board's got a pair on the river, otherwise the entire stack is going to Esfandiari.
First hand,
That was
set,
the first hand every time all in.
set, what do you call it? Flush.
And Randy Lou finds a cooler on her very first hand here on Poker Night in America.
Always first hand, all in. First hand, always all in.
Flop's a straight, river's a flush.
Wow. Mr.
I
Esfandiari
have never flopped like that in my life.
flopped the joint with back doors.
Ever.
He flops top set.
How are we tipping later?
There's a reason why Antonio is the winningest player of all time, and that reason is because he won $18 million in one tournament. But he's also pretty good.
That will bump you up quickly, no doubt about it. So now we'll have to see if Randy with a fresh rebuy goes after Antonio Esfandiari and try to get some of that money
Flopped it,
back.
huh, sir? 9, 10 of spades.
What can I do?
It came 8, Jack, Queen. I'm thinking, wow, that would be nice to have 9, 10 here. He just had it.
Never mind, 9, 10 of spades.
Come back in. When it's
Yeah.
your big blind, you play.
It's just, yeah, because then it's just always easier to end
Yeah,
on
it
a
was
big
totally
one.
It's easier to enter the game. You come in
The
as a big
straddle is on. Elke raising blind under the gun. It's going to get him positioned before the flop.
It's really not a big deal.
No.
But I think it's better this way.
Phil Laak limps in with ace-jack. Esfandiari with ace-jack suited makes it 500. Phil Laak to 45.50.
These two guys have the same hand. These two, this is so them.
You might as well get it all in because the fear of me having deuce 7 is too strong in your veins. I can feel it. You don't want to see the deuce 7. The only way out is to go all in.
Yesterday. Jamie 4-bet with the deuce 7.
That's your way out.
I don't think he's folding.
How much more is it? 4?
Yeah, 4.
Antonio's only in this hand for $500.
I like how the game is starting. It's pretty strong already.
We got some feisty players in here.
Is that
A
10?
re-raise from Antonio goes to 8,600.
And normally, if this was any other two players, I would say they're turning ace-jack into a bluff, but against each other, I have no idea.
Just toss a 50 in there or something, yeah.
He raised 13? I can't see it. Oh, it's 4. Are those purples or 5s? Okay, yeah. So 6, 7, 8.
14.
Yeah, 4,
I thought it was
5.
13. Never mind.
Make no mistake, Chris, when this happens in real life, you're supposed to fold.
Okay, all in.
Not move all in.
Ace-jack offsuit, that is your opportunity to say goodbye.
I mean, the first 4,000 shouldn't have gone
We
in.
have to see him.
I don't have a very good hand. I'm embarrassed.
Really? We don't have to do that here?
We're going to see in 15 minutes anyway.
I mean, you have to see one hand at least, probably.
Deal.
You're going to maybe see one hand.
Somebody wants to
They're
claim
both too embarrassed to show.
Ace, I don't know. Probably not good. Maybe it's good. You might have a set of queens. Now I have to fade queens and
This is
aces.
so funny. They both think they're going to win this pot. Oh!
Yeah, I might not be good.
Now they're both going to think they're losing.
You like to chop?
No, you have ace king. It's going to be.
You want to chop or no?
You don't have a choice.
Yes or no?
No.
Well, how?
It is a chop.
Like you.
Fucking
Say yes.
knucklehead gets 15,000 with ace
best-
jack. What an idiot.
I thought I was a hedge or chopping.
Yeah, when I re-raise you there, your hand's like
Kid,
really good.
keep putting
all
it
the
in with
time.
ace jack. Let's see how far you go.
What a numbnuts. By the way, that was really well played. Just raise a 4,000 with the ace jack. Like just to win 500 and like some of the time you lose your whole stack. You were so hopeless, it's amazing.
When we come back, 14 Bracelets sits down at our Poker Night in America table when Phil Hellmuth joins us next.
Yum, yum, boys.
For more from Poker Night, visit pokernight.com or find us on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, where you can see complete episodes and unedited live streams. Welcome back to Poker Night in America.
Yum, yum, boys.
And finally arriving is the one and only Phil Hellmuth.
Phil, I hope you have an extra one of those shirts.
The GOAT.
Phil too. We're selling a lot of these. You have to say you love it.
I do love it.
He got in like
Good for me.
first time with ace jack.
It's good for you. Yeah, no.
Pretty good first time. That was sick first time. Ace jack against ace jack for 15K.
Phil and I got in 15K each with ace jack. You would not have approved. He played it like a real genius too.
Well, I had 2 flush draws. He only had 1.
So you got an edge.
I had a little edge.
Antonio, don't start talking already, okay? I mean, you know.
Oh, I'm
the last
firing- I'm
time we
firing
played,
today.
the last time we played, I won like 24,000 in this cash game, and you lost like 20, right?
Last time was, where's that?
Yeah, you have a bad memory when it comes to losing, don't you?
I
New
don't
York.
remember.
Turning
I didn't
stone.
lose in New York.
You didn't
I won
end up
that
losing? Well, when I left, you were buried. Once I left, it was a lot easier.
He always
for
gets
you.
unstuck. It's Mr. Esfandiari.
Pretty sure I ended up winning. I don't know. The one with Frankenberger?
Yeah.
It's Randy. I think I won.
I got to play with Randy.
2 players.
By the
Not
time we
gonna
played
not play with
yesterday,
Randy
Phil,
either.
it was 25, 50, 100, 200 on the button, 50 from every player with the 7 deuce game. That is juicy. Come on.
Sounds fun.
Come on.
And we're playing 7 deuce to start.
Yeah, we're playing 7 deuce.
And 200 on the big blind. Dead
200 on the big blind, yeah.
Can you rank the best to the worst players at the table, please? We'd like to know your ranking.
Can I guess
can't
what
do
Phil's
that.
rankings
Come
are?
on, everybody's strong.
You can guess what my ranking
Can I guess what Phil's rankings are?
Guess his rankings?
Yeah, I want to
All
guess
right.
Phil's rankings, okay?
All right.
That would be reasonable.
Okay,
And then we want
okay.
your rankings.
Well,
No.
start with number 1.
Start at number 1. Well, Phil ranks himself number 1, obviously.
Obviously.
That's obviously.
I mean, that's-
So number 2.
It's not
number
even
two.
just him rank. I mean, it's just clear.
Number 2, I think he would rank you over Elke. I think it's 2, 3.
No shot, by the way.
No shot. You think
no
it's,
shot.
You think
He
it's
thinks
2,
I'm
3?
terrible.
You think you're terrible?
Yeah, he
Okay,
thinks I'm
maybe
terrible,
that's
yeah.
maybe that's then. That's gotta be.
I
It's gotta be
think
close.
Dan.
Maybe it's 2,
I
3.
think he gives Dan number 2.
No
You
way.
want to bet on?
No way. I bet you Dan is in the bottom 4 of Phil's expectations. I'm just saying. Come on.
4? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dan's the bottom 4 too.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's what Phil thinks.
So Elke number 2, all right?
Yeah. So okay. So let's say Elke 2, you 3,
Okay.
4.
Or like the worst.
You might think Randy starts the bottom, actually,
I'm
after
pretty sure I'm on the
yesterday.
bottom.
After yesterday, I think Randy starts the bottom, so sorry, Randy.
We've had our moments. You know, Phil, when the shooting star took place, I don't know, 15 years ago, he had a party for all the shooting stars, and he hired me as a magician to work the party. And I was hanging out with all these poker stars, and I was like in La La Land. I'm like, oh my God, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. You know, I was doing magic, he hired me.
That's awesome. Great story.
True story.
And then he wanted to pay heads up for the fee.
I said, you gotta play me for my fee for doing the magic, double or nothing.
So I did play him heads up for the fee. He was playing like a maniac even then. Raise, 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 raise. His usual tournament style, not his cash game style. And finally I picked up aces.
625.
And it came like the king, deuce, deuce, and we put most of it in, and a 5 came. And he just, and I just snapped it in there, and he showed me pocket 5s.
On.
Double up on the fee.
Typical kid player.
The kid, you know?
Uh-oh. First squeezer moves in, second squeezer in the tank. This is
That's
not good.
nice. That's like,
I love squeezer battles, you know?
How much is the
Squeezer
deuce?
battle.
Started to squeeze it. Yeah. Come on.
Have you ever noticed how Phil Laak influences the action in the deuce to 7 game all the time?
Yeah, he gets involved.
But no, I mean, he influences the action because he doesn't want to have to pay the 200. So he can't help himself. I noticed this yesterday, I didn't say it out loud. So every time he has to suggest that someone might have deuce 7 so that he might not have to pay $200.
well, yeah.
Every time.
That's been
He's
like pre-established for a lot, right, Antonio? Do 7. When some raise happens, you're allowed to go.
We do
ready.
twice. You're allowed to do that.
No, just one.
Oh, we can chop right now if you want.
Man, if Jamie loses and gets shown 7 deuce,
Go one
he
time.
may not survive.
Oh, you're dead.
I don't want it.
You're dead.
It's worth $11.
Pocket 9.
Club?
Ace king.
What'd you have?
Antonio was priced in, by the way, if you're wondering why he called an all-in with 7 deuce. Uh-oh, diamonds. Ace king holds.
You win. I had outs.
On the turn, he picked up the world.
28.50.
And Jamie Staples is elated to double up through Antonio Esfandiari.
He survives both figuratively and literally.
I want to hurt you guys so bad on that one. Yeah, you were all in potential pain, you know, you had no idea.
We'll be back with more action from the Twitch Celebrity Cash Game right after this.
There's no reading ability, there's no math, there's no logic. There's Antonio on tilt.
We call it AOT.
Antonio on tilt.
Thanks for coming back to Poker Night in America. Let's return to the cash game. This is our Twitch Celebrity Cash Game.
Snickers commercial.
It's like a bunch of young kids have been adopted by their 3 weird uncles.
I can't do
Do I owe
that.
$250? Is that how it works?
Who are the 3 weird uncles, by the way?
Antonio, Phil, and Phil.
Cooked?
A sweet potato brought to the table for Antonio Esfandiari, who's been
yeah.
complaining that he's hungry.
So I
Phil's
can chew
taking care of that. Looks like oatmeal. Not sure what's on top. Do you have any inside information on that?
You can reach out.
I do not, but I will try my best to get to the bottom of it. I once ate Phil Hellmuth's leftover Oreos.
If you give me a discount.
That's the end of the story.
I got a 50 discount yesterday.
Scott Ball makes it 300 with ace king.
It's 300 open, that's it. Yeah.
Phil, you wakeboarded all night?
Just from 4 till 9:30.
A raise to 900 from Dan O'Brien.
And Dan is
What
dominated.
exactly is wakeboarding?
Wake surfing. The boat generates waves, and you put the board in the wave, and you surf it. Surf that wave.
You want to play your hand and then explain numbnuts?
Mean.
That's him.
I think he's only saying that because he's hungry.
He's hangry.
He's
That's what's
hangry
going
right
on.
now.
He should have eaten that sweet potato he's being offered.
Wow, the great mind of Phil Laak. Can you imagine what's going on up there, Somerville?
He's just dancing.
Psychic flow, man.
You did not believe what he did with Ace Jack earlier. I mean, it was so bad. Even you would say it's so bad.
I believe it.
It was just so bad.
Sometimes you have to get it in, but that was not one of the times.
Good, Elkie. That's Elkie's line. That might be the line of the day. Sometimes you just have to get it in.
Yeah, you do, right? With Ace Jack. That was definitely not the time. He got in 15,000.
Well, Phil Laak makes it 3,300 with ace king suited. Coming back around to Scott Ball.
Thank you.
That was sick. He goes like limp 100, makes it 500, makes it 3,500.
No, 4,500.
45.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yes. Super squeeze hurts
Makes
so
it
much.
8,500 and goes all in for 15K. With ace jack.
15K gets away from it.
33 from both of us.
I made it like 8,200, like I'm ever folding for another 7K. We just only got
You had ace jack also?
I had ace jack of spades.
Back to this hand. It is the same hand, same situation. Ace king versus ace king suited.
Except in this situation, it's okay to get it in.
Ace jack, no good. Ace king, that's fine.
7, he would already snap. It's gonna be worse. I'd rather have do 7 than whatever he has.
Guys, we should have to turn over one card for all ins. Yeah. At least one, so we have some sort of a good sweat.
Of course you should. You have to turn over.
I'm not going to show my hand.
Let's do it from now on. We got to just show one card.
What?
Is that common on Poker Night in America? I hate it when they don't show their hands when I'm in the game. Now I know what they are. I don't care if you show them or not.
Ace king, come on.
One club on that flop.
Ace.
Chop it up.
Like queen 9. He just made 9s or something.
No, he's got.
Scott can exhale now.
He's got queens. Phil's got queens. He's not happy about it. Ace queen.
Chop it up.
A couple of huge pots that just ended in chops. It's kind of disappointing.
Guys, so
a little
we're
more
one if
action.
we're all in, yeah? That seems reasonable.
Okay,
We're gonna know anyways in 15 minutes. I'll just flip
Okay,
both
one
out.
if you're all in.
I prefer to show both. So whatever.
Check out the way this dealer's chopping the pot. It's like synchronized
So then
swimming.
you take away from the possibility of slow rolling on the river. And in this
Right.
game, there's a couple guys that slow roll. You know?
It's not a slow roll if it's a chop. That's a well
Here
established.
comes the big finale.
But I'm going to slow roll you if I can.
Of course.
I feel like Randy and I should be at that level soon. I feel like we have potential.
Dun, dun. All right, that was fun. By the way, you can always watch our live streams at pokernight.com.
These players. I like to hide. I don't like to specifically like needle anyone, except I'll come after Antonio just for fun.
Lots more events coming up this year. And it's funny how when you watch the live stream, you really get to see all the hands that are being played. And these players are so good. I'll just put it out there. They are really good players.
Don't mind
We're
giving
seeing a lot of
Antonio a little
odd kind of play here, maybe you think, but 10 hands set up each hand that you're seeing.
We're just showing the car crash hands, but there's lots of metagame happening in between.
10s for Esfandiari, up to 300.
Mr. O'Brien.
And Dan O'Brien, we'll look him up.
Dan's caught a piece here. Means he's not going to fold on the flop. And now Dan's got a bigger piece. He is, in fact, cracked 10 so far. Antonio's up and down, though. Dan's decided to lead the turn, which you'd often do with a draw. So I think Antonio's
66.
never folding.
65.
Antonio does call. And we go to the river, which is another 7. Full house now for O'Brien. Does pairing the board scare Antonio at all at this point?
I think it does, especially when Dan bets the river. Shouldn't be too much trouble for him to get away from this. He's not beating much at all. Dan's fired on every street. I don't think he can really rep a bluff either, since the board ran out with most of the draws missing.
Good bet size from O'Brien, though, if you are going to get Antonio to call here.
Yeah, pretty small relative to the size of this pot.
It's the right price for curiosity, as a friend of mine used to say.
Mr. O'Brien? Ace 8?
So where were you wakeboarding at 4 in the morning, Phil?
We got an All-American Dave's. We just drove to Lake Mead. You can get there in 38 minutes from Panorama to the
I like
lake.
the precision, 38 minutes. Yeah.
38 minutes from bed to boat, pretty much, roughly.
But 4 a.m. it's not
Hey,
like
speaking of boats, lol.
4:10. I got to his.
I thought it was called wakeboarding because you do it when you're awake.
411.
I'm getting it wrong for a really long time.
And then we were in the boat and drifting around.
And I got this one wrong too. Antonio did not get away from it. He
Lake
called.
Mead, boom. It's right there. He has a boat that generates the waves. You just do it.
Closed captioning is brought to you as a public service by Poker Night in America. Well, here's where we're going to end the night for now, and everyone who's got a green arrow next to them is up over $1,600 each.
There were a couple of car crash hands that ended in chops, which is why I think we don't see too many huge profits and losses here. Jason Somerville, the big loser so far, and Elke's down almost 6K.
Well, that was a lot of fun, Stapes, but this table's just getting warmed up.
Well, next time, if you like acronyms, we've got some hot AOT action. OMG, TTYL.
And speaking of the internet, you can find us at pokernight.com, where you can watch full episodes and check out our Twitch live stream. For Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Hansen. We'll see you next time on Poker Night in America. GG.
Antonio, how you offered Phil to chop. The best he can do is chop.
The best he can do is chop.
You're playing aces and queens with a jack kicker. The best you can do is chop. And you declined to chop.
Would you like to chop?
No, you have ace king. It's going to be.
You want to chop or no? Yes or no?
No.
Look, you have to say yes.
Knucklehead gets 15,000 with
The best.
jack. What an idiot.
I thought I was ahead or chopping.
Yeah, whatever.
That's his style.
All you can do is lose in that scenario.
He's not offering it unless it's neutral, so it doesn't
That's
matter.
not true.
to
I've
him.
offered many times and then turned over.
Not right there. I had a soul read
What are
on
you
you,
talking
kid.
about?
I know what you're trying to do.
By the way, if someone offers a chop, it's binding if the other person says yes
course.
before the offer is removed. Because I might do that with the best hand, and then when they say no, stick it to them. You know?
Trivial.